All right, so I feel like we've got a good amount of people in here already, so we can get started. So again, thank you all so much for joining me. My name is Andrea Gil. I am the Senior Director of Team Success here at Real Scout. I also happen to be the one that helps a lot of our follow-up boss teams, although all of us are experts here at Real Scout for FUB and Real Scout teams and brokerages. And today we're going to be talking about the latest releases for Real Scout and Follow-Up Boss, especially how it pertains to all of you as team and brokerage leaders. So our agenda for today, we're going to be talking about all of the newest and latest releases for leadership, our new reporting options, some universal settings that we're sending out or sharing with all of you, some options to clean up your database using our new custom fields and tags. And of course, as always, the importance of workflow and setup for your team. That's probably the most important thing, but that is nothing new. You all should know that by now. I've definitely tried to promote that as you've been added to Real Scout. We have a whole masterclass talking all about workflow and setup in your follow-up boss to make sure that you all are set up for success. So first we'll get into some of our latest releases for all of you in a leadership position. And again, this will be going out in a recording, but I want to make sure that you all know that. So whomever is a manager on Real Scout should have access to manager tools. So on your left-hand side, manager tools, you will be able to expand that and see either the agents within your Real Scout account. So you have access to those agents and to kind of see what it is that they're doing. You also have, if you have multiple offices within your account, you'll see all those offices there. Some of you may only have access to certain offices. It kind of just depends on what you requested when you first initially set up your Real Scout. If you don't see this and you want to see this, as long as you have permission to ask, you can definitely ask our team to update your Real Scout manager tools. But one of the latest features that we have is going to be reports. So if you go to the Manager Tools reports, we have always had these reports available in Real Scout. They go over kind of agent activity, if they're active, kind of what's going on with your contacts and all of that good stuff. But I have always shared on our back end the new reports that we have available. So I want to be sure that you all are very aware that these reports are available. We will be sending out an additional newsletter all about these reports, but I'm going to highlight them today. So again, if I go to Manager Tools on the left-hand side and click Reports, I can view these reports. So if I click Contacts and Alerts, that's going to show me how many leads I'm bringing in from whatever source directly into Real Scout. So here, for instance, in May, we brought in 571 leads from Follow-Up Boss, 221 from an agent import. So they imported that list directly into Real Scout. Your FUBscout should not be doing that. They should always be entering those leads into Follow-Up Boss, but you can kind of see what's going on here. And then did an agent add them, or did a home buyer? So did someone actually register on your Real Scout? So you will see that there. How many of these people added, how many people are being given or added with alerts. So you'll see that here. Listing source or listing alerts added by source. How did they get created? Was it by auto nurture? Did the agent make them? So this is a great way to keep up with that. Same for the other alerts that we have. Home value alerts and market activity alerts. You can see email activity. So how often are people receiving emails from you and your team? Of course, this would be for your whole team or your whole brokerage, depending on your access. And how often are they opening and clicking on them? We have both an overview, and then we also have by unique users. Okay, so by unique users and then overall. So these are really great things to look at, especially if you're interested in your email activity with RealScout. And then site interactions. So of course, you guys should be using Follow-Up Boss smart lists to track all of the RealScout engagement on Follow-Up Boss. You should have smart lists set up in your FUB that track this engagement. But this is going to give you just an extra level of reporting that should, again, if you look at this and match it with FUB, they should be the same, right? So this is an extra level of reporting, but you guys have both reports and Follow-Up Boss. You have smart lists and Follow-Up Boss. All that should be helping you track this information, but this is new and available to you. You can see we have messages, etc. in here for you guys to look at, okay? So these are our new reports. I hope that you guys enjoy them. If you have any questions about them, feel free to reach out to support at RealScout or team support or broker support at RealScout if you have specific questions that you need answered. But those are now available to you in Manager Tools reports. Okay. There are also some now universal settings that you can set up in your RealScout for your agents. So we have the ability for a manager, and you'll have to request this, and we'll be sure to reach out to everyone to see if they'd like it. But we have manager templates available. And if you want everyone to have access to the manager templates that you create in RealScout, you can, as a manager with that access, turn manager settings on for everyone in your RealScout profile. So you can turn this on for them. You all will just have to request that from team support at RealScout. Again, we're going to be checking in to see if you would like that setting, but you will go ahead and ask and we'll update this. So again, you can create templates for your team. Those can be triggered with tags, and you can make sure that this tag automation is on by toggling that on for your whole team. Certain people, certain offices, it's totally up to you, but you guys can now do that within your manager tools. Okay. And the next option that it will be hopefully released in 1 to 2 weeks. I'm going to just talk about it today, just because I think that it's important that we know what's happening. And of course, this meeting or this webinar is all about what's going on with RealScout releases. So in a couple of weeks, you will be able to say, all right, my settings are everybody with this tag needs to be auto nurtured. Well, now your settings will apply to your entire team and any agents moving forward. So prior to that, each one of you had to go into each one of your agents' accounts and adjust that, or the agents had their ability to, set up their own settings. But this gives more oversight to the team leader, to the brokerage leadership, that you can now add those settings as universal settings for your team. Okay, so in 1 to 2 weeks, that'll be released and you'll be able to do that. Again, we will be announcing it at that point in time, but this is just an update here on what you all can do. If you have questions now, feel free to put them in the chat. Feel free again, you can email team support at RealScout or broker support, depending on where you land, or our general support at RealScout email. Again, just going over, we have the new manager tools reporting. So this is one major one that now shows off email activity, site interactions, and how those contacts and alerts are being added to Real Scout. And then we also have universal settings that you as a manager can set, including manager template, tag automation, and in a couple of weeks, you'll have the auto nurture universal settings. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy those releases. I'm super excited about it. I know a lot of people had requested those things, and so we made those changes. I'm most excited about that new reporting. Now on to database cleanup with our new custom fields and tags. A majority of you should already have these kind of going into your follow-up boss. But as far as the latest tags that we've released, and I will put this in the chat, we have 3 new tags that we have released to help you clean up your follow-up boss and Real Scout. These are specific to email database cleanup. So if they have had an email validation failure, we're going to tag them Real Scout email validation failed. If they recently had a rejected email, Real Scout email rejected. And then if they ever reported us as spam, you will see Real Scout email spam reported. So in follow-up boss, those people are we backfilled up until, I believe it was January. So everybody from January forward has been kind of cleaned up with those tags. What I did was create a quick smart list within follow-up boss on the people's tab. You guys as managers, as leaders, have access to everyone's leads in FUB. So you can go to create a smart list, again, with these 3 tags, and that will tell you how many people are on this list. You may want to do an additional check just to make sure. Let's say we say with our new custom fields, Real Scout property. Let's say Real Scout. Of course, the new tag, the new custom field is not coming up. Oh, it's because I'm looking at, let's do custom field. Real Scout property views count is less than 1. So we want to make sure that they are less than 1, right? Yeah. So, or less than 0. Okay. Well, you know what I mean. Is not empty. We're gonna have to do it is less than 1. I'm pretty sure that's how we do it. Okay. So once we know that they haven't viewed any properties and they have one of these tags in Real Scout, that's when we can clean them up. And you don't have to do that in Real Scout. You can actually clean them up now using our actionable tags. So the first option that we have is Real Scout archive contact. As you know, in Real Scout, we have 3 different buckets. We have nurtured, awaiting nurture, and archived. If they're in this nurtured bucket, they're counting against your nurtured contact total, right? So all of you have purchased X amount of nurtured contacts. Your team is using X amount of that total. So when you move them from nurtured to archived, that's going to remove them from this total. And now you all can kind of clean up your database, remove some people from that nurtured bucket, and make some space for newer leads. Okay, so for all of you, again, this is something that you can do easily with follow-up boss or with Real Scout tags and our new custom fields, which I'm going to go over in just a second. But you can quickly make a little smart list with those tags, see who has one of those tags associated with their account. And then once you've found that out, you can go through here and select all, tag them with Real Scout archive, and they will Real Scout archive contact. This is not case sensitive, so you can use whatever you'd like. Add that tag, and they'll all move from this nurtured bucket into this archived bucket. Okay, so a great easy way to clean up your list using those tags. So best way to do that, I'll go ahead and put this in the chat, so that way you all have our latest tag releases. There's the article for you, but those are the latest tag releases that we have for Real Scout. Now, the next updates that we have on Real Scout are going to be our new custom fields. So our latest custom fields are going to be Real Scout total emails received count. So how many emails has that lead received from you? How many times have they viewed a property? How many times have they viewed a market activity alert dashboard? How many times have they viewed their home value alert dashboard? And when was the first email sent to them? Okay, so this is another great way to clean up your database. A lot of you have been with us for over a year now, or way more than that. So it may be time to start cleaning up that database a little bit more. We've definitely engaged that group of folks, but maybe it's time to start cleaning them up, making way for new places, or putting them in a different pond, right? So again, with these custom fields, let's say the Real Scout total emails received is over 100, and they've never looked at their home value alert, they've never looked at their market activity alert, and they've never viewed properties. And they've been receiving emails for more than 6 months. So with that, I need to go in and clean them up, maybe move them to a different pond, to make space in particular ponds that I have, or move them over to a different workflow, whatever you'd like. But this allows you to clean up that list of folks that have been receiving a lot of emails from you, but haven't done anything. In another sense, this can help you kind of show how many people are looking at a lot of properties and have received a lot of emails from you, or looking at their home value often, or their market activity alert often. Maybe we want to keep them on Real Scout email drip. Maybe we want to increase the amount of times that we're sending emails out to them. So as you know, we do alert you anytime someone saved a property, anytime someone has viewed a property 3 or more times. So this is going to help you if, let's say, they haven't looked at a single property 3 or more times, but they've looked at 20 properties in the span of a week, right? Once, each property one time. That person can be alerted using this custom field, or you can be alerted using that custom field. Maybe you make a smart list that goes along with that custom field to make sure that you know, hey, this person, they've received multiple emails from me. Each and every email they're looking at, they're viewing properties. It's something that I want to track, that I want to look at. Real Scout isn't going to necessarily tell you with a note or with a tag, hey, this person is looking at single properties one time. But now you can do that here using these custom fields. So again, do you want to make a smart list? Do you want to make an automation when someone looks at more than 5 properties on Real Scout? Notify me, or send a message, or update me to look at their Real Scout profile to edit their alert. There's lots of different ways that you can use these new custom fields, but they're all meant to encourage action and show off the engagement within Real Scout. Okay. I want to call out that if you're not seeing these custom fields within your within your follow-up boss profile, more than likely you will within this week. We're going through and backfilling all of this data. I also want to call out that the Real Scout total emails received count is not going to update instantly. It will update at the end of every day. Okay, so at the end of every day, this Real Scout total emails received count will be updated at the end of every day. The rest of them are all instant and should push through as you need. Okay, so lots of different things that you guys can do with these custom builds, with these new tags, with these new actionable tags. There's a lot of great things. We have the support article about the tags. I've even made a cleaning up your contacts list FAQ again in the Follow-Up Boss and Follow-Up Boss Real Scout Masterclass, so that you guys can take a look at that. Share it with your agents. Again, on Thursday, we're going to have a more agent-friendly view on this versus talking to leadership. I will be sending this out in an email to all of the folks in leadership, in a leadership position that are FUBscouts. And we're going to have a ton of other releases coming soon. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I don't see any questions in the chat, but feel free to ask. I will open it up the last 5 minutes here for any questions. You guys can always reach out to team support at Real Scout or broker support at Real Scout if you wanted to do a bit of an account review, or if you have any questions like that, we can do that. Unsubscribe tag also added to smart list, or no? We don't, if they unsubscribe on Real Scout, then this Real Scout alerts link would actually go away. And I think that's when it shows Real Scout account deactivated. So we were going to use that tag, but we took it away. So we haven't pushed that through. Unless you guys think that's something we should use. So Jessica, if you have feedback, feel free to let me know. Any other questions? You're welcome. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoy these new features. If you have suggestions on how to use these custom fields, how to use these tags, I mean, you can use them with automations, action plans. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can use these tags and custom fields to, quickly clean things up. I had, for this Real Scout disable listing alert, so one of the team leaders that I was talking to said that when I change the stage from buyer to closed, then I can, make an action plan or an automation to immediately add the tag Real Scout disable listing alert. That would turn off their listing alert. And then maybe you add an additional note to your agent that says in 1 month, calendar invitation to, add their home's address to Follow-Up Boss, right? Because then Auto Nurture will add the home value alert, right? Maybe you don't want to put them on that home value alert immediately when they buy their property, but maybe in a month or a couple of weeks, we throw that on. Because remember, home value alerts, long-term nurture. So you can use these actionable tags in a lot of different ways, but I think the really, really good stuff is here in this custom field section. Any questions or any ideas? We love ideas. So feel free to put those in the chat. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Thank you, Joey. Oh, yes, yes. I love the unique property views. Let us know if you have any questions, any feedback. Otherwise, I release you into the wild. You guys have an amazing day. James just emailed team support at Real Scout, and we'll check in with you. If you did want to have like an account review or anything like that, we can definitely do that. We are making more attempts to have account reviews. So you guys will all see emails from myself or Clay soon. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. You have a great day. You're welcome.